Hello and welcome, my name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today and thank you for joining me for our second in this week's stamp set of the week, Racing By. So this is our second card. So it's a little bit different from the one we did on Monday. This one's again a happy birthday card. It's got a bit of bling, we've got a sentiment which I haven't brought with me, so I'll grab that in a second. And we've got the balloons and the racing car and a bit of paper piercing here. Right, so let us get on with the measurements and the supplies. So what have we got? We have got today a piece of lemon lolly measuring 8 inches by 5 3/4. I have a layering piece of gorgeous grape, and as you'll see there are 3 balloons cut out from the middle. I always suggest that it's a good idea to do that if you're going to have balloons or, you know, little small die cuts. When you place your piece of white cardstock over the top, no one is any the wiser, and you're actually saving yourself some cardstock because you're taking from the middle rather than having to use another piece. So we have 3 of those. We have, and that measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. Then our focal piece, which is 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. I've also got a layer for the inside and a piece of scrap designer series paper. And if you've got lots of little pieces floating around, then this is an ideal way of using some of it up. So let us pop this all aside. Let's score the lemon lolly first of all. So using my scoring tool again, I'm going to, oops, get that stuck. Pop that onto there, and I'm going to score at 4 inches. And then that can be folded and burnished with my bone folder. Right, so let's take our focal piece. She says I can't pick it up. There we go. And we're going to work in landscape. So the first thing we need to do is to ink up our car outline. And as usual, I'm going to use my pebble path. I'm going to stamp that slightly more over to the right so we've got room for the balloons. So let's do that there. Perfect. While I've got my pebble path out, I'm going to bring in my designer series paper, and I'm just literally going to stamp over the paper like so, and then we'll cut that out in a bit. Right, put that there. Bring that over. So let's do all the other things we need to do first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my balloons. So I've got, now the balloons are not in the actual Racing By stamp set. They are in the stamp set Filled with Fun, which is this one here. And also I'm using the dies, or the die of the balloon as well. Right, so getting my I'm going to use the pebble path again. Right. Work out roughly where I want my balloon to go. And I'm doing them obviously in the gorgeous grape. So the first thing I need to do is take my gorgeous grape. And then I'm going to stamp one there, and then I'm just going to overlap them, one there, and then one there. Then I'll bring in the string, and then I'm just going to take my top one and place it down. So obviously you're overlapping, so obviously don't worry too much because we're going to be covering all of those. Let's see if we can do that one. What I'm trying not to do though is to go over the wheel, because I am actually going to stamp the wheel rather than cover it up with a die cut or a paper piecing. Right, and let's do that way. Okay, so there are our 3 balloons all set up. Then going to use the happy birthday, which I have got and managed to grab. So I'm going to ink up the stamp rather than tap the stamp to the ink because it is so long. Right, I can afford to go over the balloons and off the page. So let's make sure we're happy with where it's going, and straight down and straight up. There we go, because obviously the balloons will get covered. So the only other thing we need to do is to put our driver in, and I think I'm going to do him in the, or her, in the lemon lolly. I'm going to tap my lemon lolly up. Yep, that seems good. And then I'm going to place him, trying to get as close to this line here as possible, so that he does look like he's sitting in the car rather than floating. And there he is in his little car. So now all we need to do is add our extras. So we're going to cut out, actually no, let's do the wheels first. What colour should I do the wheels? Shall I do them same colour as our, yeah, why not, same colour as our driver, and I'm going to use the star wheels for this particular car. And then I'm just there's one, and then over the top of this one, 2. There we are. Right, so we're going to cut our vehicle out, again not worrying about the wheels, on the black line, so that when you layer it down, it, you know, the black line will show from underneath anyway, so it won't matter. Now the advantage of doing this paper piecing is that if you've got, so for example, we've only got 2 bodies for this particular stamp, and you don't want either of them, then using a piece of designer series paper or plain paper like we did on Monday is another way of adding a bit of a different slant to what we've got already. It's also a brilliant way of using up all those scraps that we have lying around. I'm always thinking, oh, I really need to do something with my designer series paper. There's just so much of it. And here is one of the ideas. So here we go. Try and move the paper around, keeping the scissors still, and you get a smoother cut. And then straight across the line. And then that goes onto there with the glue. Let's get those out of the way. This can now be stuck down with our glue. Come on. Wants to come out, it's showing bits. There we go, that's better. Oh, not too much. Always the way, isn't it? Sometimes not enough, and sometimes too much. I'm just spreading it along here with my piece of spare designer series paper, so that I don't actually add too much and it doesn't all go squidgy. Right, so then now it can be picked up and moved. and just place it down. There we go. Right, and now the things to add are the 3 balloons, which obviously I've previously cut down. So 2 I'm going to stick down with glue. Some days I feel like I'm working on a building site. It's amazing. This next extension of building work on the back of us is just constantly going on. So I apologise if you can hear a van or a lorry where something is, oh hello, that didn't stick, reversing. There we go. Okay, and so the next thing to do is for the 3rd and final balloon is to add dimensional. So I'm actually going to add the dimensional to the card rather than to the balloon, and then I will hover the balloon over the top. Oh, come here. Tilt it slightly. There we go. Push it down, and then that's in place. So the only thing really to do now is to add a bit of bling, but let's layer it first, shall we? Let's not race ahead too far. Okay, so that, I think the Gorgeous Grape really makes it pop. So I'm only going to add the glue around the edge on this particular one, because I really don't want to end up sticking my hands through these holes with glue. So there we are, that's that one. Add that onto there. Right, and again, let's just work around the card. Come on, I think I might need to replace the glue on this one. It's going through glue quite quickly these days. Right, and down. And I've got my bling somewhere over here. So let's see if we can add the bling to that. I think this one's definitely more a girly card than it is a male card. I think that's probably the male version. Right, let's see what we got bling wise. We don't have any purples. I have the yellows, I suppose. Let's use the yellows. There we go. There we are. And a pointy tool. Okay, so I'm going to take a big one. Pop one over there. Might put a small one down here. Actually, what I was thinking was I'm going to put one on the balloon. So where do I put the next one? That is the question. Let's put it over here. There we go. It gives you the triangle that we like to have to make it pleasing to the eye. Right, so that is, oh no, hang on, oh that was nearly today's card. Let's put the layer inside. I'm not going to worry too much about putting something on the top of this one for the inside. I'm just going to layer it down and make sure it's in place. There we go. So that is this morning's or today's card. I hope you like it. So that's what I think is the female version, should I say, and the slightly more masculine version. There we go. Right, so I hope you liked our second card. It's a little bit of fun. Join me on Friday if you're free for our sketch 2 of our subset of the week / sketch Friday. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Right, so thank you ever so much. Whatever you do for the rest of the day, stay safe and happy crafting. Take care. Bye.